welcome to episode 14 of the Silver Screen Scarehouse with Lisa and Linnie. I am your host, Linnie, and with me, as always, is the brilliant Miss Lisa Fremont.
I like being brilliant.
You are brilliant. When you come to the Scarehouse, we'll be reviewing 3 movies. We may not always agree, but as lifelong film fanatics, you'll get honest opinions from 2 different sides of the aisle, followed by an old-fashioned knives up, knives down final rating. This week, Lisa and I will be chatting about Final Girl, Wyrmwood, and Bonnie and Clyde vs. Dracula, all of which are available on Netflix, Hulu, or other VOD platforms. So first up, let's chat about Final Girl, which is just coming out last week?
Yeah, just this
Yeah, it came out this past Friday. So Veronica, the new girl in town, is lured into the woods by a group of senior boys looking to make her a victim. But the boys don't know that Veronica's been trained to handle herself in surprisingly lethal ways. All right, Lisa, you're up first.
This movie there was a lot of buzz out of the South by Southwest. And I try to avoid crap like that, actually.
Right.
So I was definitely interested to see it. And then when I found out Wes Bentley was in it, I had to see it. And, I liked it. I think it's gorgeous. You were absolutely spot on. It's beautiful. And I would like to own every piece of clothing that Veronica wears.
Right.
And Abigail Breslin does a really good job of being, really cool, kind of a Hitchcock icy blonde chick who happens to be able to wield, an axe. So it was an interesting idea. She's gorgeous. Wes Bentley is gorgeous. Everybody looks amazing. And the film looks amazing, but it lags. The middle part is just long and talky, and I don't care. And it felt more like it could have been a short.
Yeah, here's the deal with Final Girl. I had been dying to see it for ages, and I made the mistake of going online and looking at reviews. And you would think that Hitler made this movie. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people on IMDb, or even some of the major critics that are acting like this movie ran over their puppy. And it's just shocking to me, because I was expecting this to be the worst movie ever. And maybe because my expectations were so low, I liked it as much as I did. But I did. It's gorgeous. Tyler Shields was a photographer, and you can tell. You can pick almost any shot out of this movie, and it could be a still photograph. It's beautiful. The clothing is beautiful. The makeup is beautiful. It's just a really pretty movie to look at. I'm not sure Abigail Breslin was the right person for the role. She's not fierce enough. I know that's a little behind on my hip lingo, but that's really the only word I could think of to describe it. She works in the parts where she's not having to be vicious or fight. But when she is having to tap into that final girl mode, it seemed to be missing something. Wes Bentley, who I've never cared for, ever, like as far back as American Beauty, I've never liked him. I liked him in this, which says a lot. It's a strange sort of movie. I feel like you're either going to love it for what it is, which is a really beautiful film with some really great ideas, or you're going to hate it just for the sake of hating it, which seems to be the general consensus among most people that are watching it. But I am not sure why people are being such assholes about it.
I don't feel like there's any reason to hate it.
Yeah, there have been a few reviews that have been pretty vicious.
Well, didn't you say that it felt like they were being personal towards Tyler Shields?
Yeah, that's what it's there. There are a couple of reviews. Going to the user reviews on IMDb is always a terrible idea, but there are a few of them that don't even know the characters' names. So it makes me think they didn't even see the movie. They're just going on there and bashing it to bash it. So if it's personal, that's really messed up, because it's somebody's livelihood you're messing with. You're kind of killing a movie that really is not that bad, with really shitty word of mouth and when it's undeserved. I know this movie is not going to break any boundaries. It's not doing anything remarkable in the world of horror, but it's very rare that you get from a horror film something that's just lovely. Like, it's a gorgeous film. And I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Sometimes you just want to put on a movie that's pretty. And the story, I think it could have been fleshed out a little more. I would have liked to have spent more time with Veronica and her training and her relationship with Wes Bentley's character. I think that was a real lost opportunity there. It's such a difficult movie to get a real handle on, but I do think it's a movie that you should absolutely see.
This movie reminded me of, as far as how it's being accepted, was The Cell, and how when The Cell came out, it was like, well, it looks really pretty.
Yeah, see, even with time, maybe that's what Final Girl needs. I feel like with time, The Cell has really built up an audience. I know it's one of my favorite movies, and not just because it's pretty. I love the story behind it too. I don't know that this movie has that kind of legs, but I could see Tyler Shields developing into a Tarsem type filmmaker, where if he has a script that has a little more meat on it, he might be able to do more with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I saw The Cell in theaters, and when I walked out, all I knew was that it was pretty. I don't think I could have told you really what it was about. And I feel like Final Girl is visually overstimulating as well. And so you're like, well, I think I know what's happening. Maybe I don't know. But you don't really care. They start talking too much. In the middle, where there's far too much time spent with them in the woods talking, when, as you said, we could have seen more of her training. Or perhaps, I would have loved to have seen how Wes Bentley got to where he was in life.
Yeah, like I said, there was a real missed opportunity there with their characters and fleshing out a little more about their backstory. And I don't know that I don't know that I necessarily want a prequel. I wouldn't object to a sequel if the script was a little tighter.
There's a lot of writers on this. There's 4 writers.
Yeah, so that's never a good sign.
That's bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and as far as Abigail Breslin, she was really great. There's a moment where she could have been like so badass, like Hammer Girl, and she just didn't quite pull it off. So I know what you're saying with her not being fierce enough.
Yeah. See, I kept
when she was trying to be like super badass, I'm sure she doesn't ever want to hear anybody say this, but I couldn't help feeling like that's the little girl in Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I saw her with her glasses, dancing.
Yeah, see, I feel like it's been long enough for me now that I don't even really see that anymore. And I also have not watched that movie in a really long time. But I mean, you can't help but draw the comparisons between this and Hannah. And a movie that I hated, Hannah. I really did not like that movie at all. But Saoirse Ronan was amazing in it. And I couldn't help but wonder what somebody like her would have done with that part. Somebody that has that same very ethereal, very angelic look about her, but that has these really killer inner instincts. And I don't, Abigail Breslin's mother produced the movie. So, I don't know if that's why she's starring in it, or if she was already starring in it and her mother gave more money to get the movie made. I really don't know. I'm hypothesizing here. But I'm just not sure that she was the right person to carry a movie like this. Because, yeah, when it came to those moments, when you want somebody to really kick ass, there's still something too chubby-cheeked and sweet about her that doesn't translate.
Yeah, it didn't work as a cover. It just was more of a distraction.
Mm-hmm. But all that being said, I still enjoyed it.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I think it's gorgeous. I liked everybody in it. There's a moment with a boy dancing with an axe that is just sublime, and it was fun, and she was amazing.
Oh yeah,
I look
absolutely.
I look forward to what she'll be doing on Scream Queens, and B, I would watch another Tyler Shields movie because I don't know who he is, and I don't care if he's a jackass in real life because I don't know him.
Yeah, exactly. I do wonder how much is people just being assholes, which it's happened before. But it's just as annoying as friends of the director going on websites and pumping up a movie that sucks and trying to trick you into thinking it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the other side of the coin. That being said, definitely a knife up for
Oh yeah, two knives up for Final Girl for
me.
sure.
Yes, sweet. All right, next up is Wyrmwood. Lisa?
Wyrmwood, straight out of the outback comes another fucking zombie movie. Okay, so Barry, he's on a mission to find his sister Brooke. Brooke has been kidnapped by these suspicious soldiers, and it's the zombie apocalypse because that's the only thing that happens in life ever for the last 5 years. I was not looking forward to this, despite the fact that it has nothing but good word of mouth. And I've seen everybody on Instagram and Twitter saying it's so good. I love it. This girl's amazing. And I was just like, whatever. It looks pretty. There's some really funny bits. The girl is a badass. Brooke is awesome. I'd like to be friends with her. But it felt like if you had just taken the middle out of a season, any season of The Walking Dead, and you said, "Here, I want you to watch episodes 4 through 8," and then that's it. That's what it felt like to me. It's like a moment in time, and I thought, okay, at least with The Walking Dead, it's a drama, which is like I always defend it. That's why I watch it. It's a dramatic show that happens to have zombies. This was just zombies and whatever.
Right. See, I more than making my feelings known about the zombie genre, I am not a zombie person. I usually fall asleep watching zombie movies. I did not fall asleep watching Wyrmwood. That's not to say my attention did not drift periodically. It is really, really visually stunning. The use of color is amazing. I The interesting thing though was that when it was over, I could not have told you one thing about the story because I was so in and out watching it, and I'd get distracted, and then I'd look at the color and come back, and I'd pay attention for a little while, and because this is my problem with zombie movies, that I find that they all blend together. So I had to watch it a second time, and I paid attention that time, and I'm not sure comparing it to Mad Max is necessarily fair, which is what a lot of reviews seem to be doing. Just because it's Australian and post-apocalypse doesn't necessarily mean it's Mad Max. In terms of zombie movies, it's definitely one of the better ones I've seen in a long time. I don't know that I would ever watch it again, but I would recommend it to people as a really, really visually appealing movie with a really cool story, really great characters, but it's still a zombie movie. I feel horrible saying that. It's just like I can't get excited about zombie movies.
Yeah, I can't either. If I hadn't watched this on the treadmill, I would have had to watch it twice as well. But because I was forced. I was stuck on a treadmill, so I watched it.
Yeah, see, that's my great curse is that unless it's a subtitled film, I'm usually doing 10 other things while I'm watching a movie. So it takes an exceptional movie to get me to stop and pay attention. And this I'm giving it a knife up because it is all these great things, but for me, it's still a zombie movie, and it's really hard for me to ever get all bajiggity over a zombie movie.
Yeah, I give it a knife up as well, especially if you like the zombie movie. This is your new favorite movie. Do you just want to have some fun? Watch this movie. Do you want to see a badass chick? Watch this movie. There's a lot of head explosions. I'm a huge fan of heads. With getting a shotgun blast. I'm a big fan of that. And they're very good. there's some questionable science behind it. But again, you're watching a zombie movie. So I don't have a problem with zombie films. I just need them to have more in them. And this didn't. And it was fine.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It was fine. I'm not mad about it. I'm not going to watch it again. If I was flipping through the channels on a Saturday and it came on, I would keep going. However, yeah, knife up.
Yeah, knife up for me too.
All right.
So, all right, moving on from zombies. Sorry, that's me getting distracted again. As I said, I am mildly ADHD. Our last movie for today is Bonnie and Clyde versus Dracula. After a heist goes wrong, outlaw couple Bonnie and Clyde crash a mansion inhabited by the recently revived Dracula. When gangsters meet vampires, there's bloody hell to pay. I'm gonna come right out and say it. This movie's fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I love the shit out of it. And Lisa, I'm interested to hear why you didn't.
Okay. So again, I was on a treadmill. And I stopped and I turned it off and turned on a new movie. And I don't usually turn off movies.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what? I think that Sharknado is a better movie. Okay, the acting, this Bonnie, her and her sassy attitude with her little razor blade, somebody needs to put her back into acting school. Like, I couldn't even stand it. I didn't even know what was going on. It took forever. It's Bonnie and Clyde. There's a guy in a bag who has taken, apparently, Dracula, and he's harboring him for some reason. I don't know, because I thought, is anything going to happen? I don't think anything's going to happen. And then when when Clyde was sitting around a campfire with, I don't know, some guy they picked up somewhere along the line, and he started to tell a story about a man whose pants were taken down, and then, was it whiskey or bourbon, was poured over his genitals, and then the dough was brought to him, I pushed stop, and I thought, I don't care. I don't care how this ends. I don't care what's going on. I would rather watch Twilight. I would rather watch an Adam Sandler film. I would rather watch Dracula 3D Stone Cold Sober. This movie had to go.
Wow. Okay. I don't really know how to argue with you. Like I said, it's absolutely idiotic. I had been watching a lot of Bonnie and Clyde when I watched this movie. Perhaps I had been worn down by representations. I am a huge fan of Tiffany Shepis. I love her to death. I think she's probably one of the best Bonnies I saw when I was watching that particular run of Bonnie and Clyde films.
This lady? No.
Yeah. I'm not including the Faye Dunaway one. I'm talking about like more recent ones.
Because I was just about to break up with you.
No. This is not including the Faye Dunaway one. I don't know. I think maybe because Trent Haga was in it, who also, I don't know if you knew this guy that wrote Cheap Thrills. He's the one that played Clyde. He also has a long history with trauma, so I think perhaps I was watching it through a trauma mentality, that I was just kind of expecting that. I mean, it's ridiculous. The guy with the bag on his head and the one eyeball and the Dracula and the... It's insane. It makes no fucking sense. I acknowledge that. But I don't know why I loved it. I did. It's absolutely idiotic. I can't really justify what it was about it that I liked, other than Tiffany and my abiding love for Trent and his mediocre acting skills. I don't know. I'm sorry that you turned it off.
Well, when the man with the bag over his head came on, I immediately understood that I needed to dumb down what I was expecting, and maybe this was like you said, like a trauma, and I'm good. I don't expect things to be amazing. I don't even need things to make sense. I do need them to be mildly engaging, though, and this was not that. And I just was getting so irritated that nothing was happening. Like, they just kept talking. They weren't even killing people. This is Bonnie and Clyde. They're not even really killing anybody. They did at the beginning, but that's it. And then she just keeps complaining about her dress, and she doesn't want to eat donkey meat. And what's with all the donkeys in this movie? Literally, where I said I turned it off, where I don't care how that story ended, I thought perhaps this is retaliation for me making Linnie watch Boxing Helena. No.
No, we're square. Remember, after Crazy Bitches, I declared us square.
Right.
So.
Or square again.
So, obviously, against my better judgment, I give it a knife up because it's stupid, and I enjoyed this particular amount of stupid, but for you...
I won't even rate it.
You have to! There's no gray in life.
I give it a dull Swiss Army knife down.
So, there you go. Bonnie and Clyde versus Dracula. What are you going to do?
Don't watch it.
If you're drunk, watch it.
No, not even. I'm sorry, I'll shut up. Okay.
That's okay. So thank you, Darklings, for joining us for episode 14 of the Silver Screen Scarehouse. If you'd like to chat with us about any of the movies we reviewed today, you can find Lisa on Twitter.
I'm at LCFREMONT.
Or you can find me on Twitter. I'm at Linnie Loohoo, LINNIE LOOWHO. If you have a movie you'd like us to queue up in the Scarehouse, drop us a comment below or let us know on Twitter. Stay stabby, kids.